Lance, obviously we know you're disappointed, but just give us your thoughts, your emotions. What's going through your head right now?
It's one of those things that you hear all the time. Don't leave it in the hands of the judges. No matter how dominant you felt in the fight, you can never. We saw it in more than my fight tonight. The judges were all over the place with the scorecards, giving split decisions to guys who were dominating the fight. Um, you know, for me, I'm just happy to be able to get the immediate rematch because I feel like I dominated him on not even my best performance, and beat him where he's supposed to be good, which is on the ground, and you know, just being more active. I guess I don't know what their decision was as far as making the deciding each round. So that's about it.
Do you know how you had it scored? I mean, do you and your corner talk as the fight's going on, and do you know what rounds you think you won to take the fight?
I mean, honestly, I'm in there, so you can't really see from the outside, but I felt like I won at least 4, and I could have made an argument for all 5 just by activity, and I guess one of the judges said that I was taking him down and not being active, but I didn't see it that way. I felt I was active. I felt like if you're not being active, usually that means he's throwing submissions up and being active on the bottom, and I'm not. But I was active from the top, throwing punches to the body, passing guard. I mounted him. I took his back. I had wrist control behind his back. I was landing punches underneath, going for submissions. Almost had a head and arm locked up there. I don't know. I don't have an answer for it. I guess you just have to go out and finish fights, which I try to do. I always go out and try and get the finish. So when I had him on the ground, I was trying to soften him up, and in the 4th, I think it was, maybe the 5th, I hurt him to the body with a punch, dumped him on his neck, and started working from there. And I don't know. So I heard that they gave him the first 3 rounds on all cards, and I just don't see it. Honestly.
I mean, he did have some moments of success. He used his range pretty well. He was able to stop a few of your takedowns. I mean, was there anything he did that surprised you, and did he at least earn a little bit of your respect going into the rematch?
I mean, not really. I didn't see anything that was surprising or something where I was like, oh crap, this is going to be tough. Everything went. I mean, for me, everything went according to plan, except I didn't feel it was my best performance, but I felt like I got the job done. And it sucks to lose a decision like that where the whole crowd and everybody, even Ray, like they thought I won the fight, and it's always about getting better. Even if I would have got the decision, it still wasn't my best performance, but I felt like I did what I had to do to get the job done and keep the belt. But you always have to go out and try and get the finish all the time, and that's about it.
What did Almeida say to you after the fight?
He said great job. He said after he got the decision, he said, you won that fight, bro. I'm sorry. But at that point, I don't really, I don't need the sympathy. It's you either win or you lose. There's no you win or you lose. That's it.
Give us an idea of your physical condition right now, and how soon would you like to see this rematch take place?
I told one of the guys downstairs New Year's Day would be cool, but I think they're going to give me a little time. But my body feels good. A little more beat up just from training camp more than the actual fight. I didn't really take any damage in the fight. A couple, nicks and bruises and stuff here and there, but I feel great. I feel like I could go 5 more right now.
For me on the cage side, it seemed like you were trying to circle away from his power, find your takedowns, and it looked like you were trying to get him into the championship rounds and wear him out a little bit. Is that the plan, and do you think maybe the judges saw that as running? I didn't, because I kind of knew what you were doing. Is that what the plan was, and is that what you think they might have saw?
With the guy that rangy, I wanted to circle. I wanted to move instead of just standing right in front of him and taking his shots and seeing what he was going to do. But my game plan was to move and stay elusive and use my speed and land my punches. The takedowns were just there, honestly. I didn't feel like I needed the takedowns but I felt like they were going to seal the rounds. And then when I did get on top, I felt like I landed some good elbows, some good strikes, and I was passing guard. I was getting his back, getting the mount position. I don't know what they saw. I mean, cage control that's one aspect of the entire judging system. One aspect, and that was the only thing that he did was stay in the middle of the cage. There was nothing else. He landed some straight rights, and he missed with all of his kicks. I mean, he landed like 1 or 2 kicks, and there was no damage with the kicks. So if you're going by like causing damage and whatever else, he didn't do any of that. So you can't cry over spilled milk, though. You got to go out and get the finish. I felt like I could go 5 rounds, but I wasn't trying to drag him into 5 rounds. I was trying to get the finish before that.
Is it difficult in a fight that you felt like you won to then look back and assess? Do you just kind of look at the fight and say, okay, here's where I could have maybe found a finish? Or do you, I mean, like you said, you thought you won the fight. So it's difficult to then come up with a new game plan for a fight you thought you won?
No, it's not difficult because every fight that I've won, I've gone back to the drawing board, and there's things that you do wrong in the fight, or there's things you can improve on all the time. So, it's just easier to handle when it's a win instead of a loss, going back and looking at it and seeing what you did wrong. Or what you can improve on, and the things you did well also, you can't get away from the things that work. I just have to, go back. I'll probably, enjoy the holidays, watch the fight. I mean, it's a tough one when I feel that everybody thought that I won the fight. I mean, I felt that I won the fight. I know that I didn't get the finish, but it's hard for me to see it as me losing the fight.
And one final question, and again, this is not a criticism from me. It's just something I heard, and I want to get your thoughts on it. The absence of a head coach at your team, just kind of like one of those big name head coaches. Defend your team's lack of that, and even since that's a criticism of your team.
Well, this has been something that's gone on with our team since before I was even there. Not having a head coach. We have great mitt holders, great boxing coaches, great jiu-jitsu coaches, but we don't have a head coach who knows the game and has been in the game. And Dwayne Ludwig was the best person that we had at that, and not having him there has definitely made a difference. And that's just the way it is. I mean, people may be mad for me saying that, but whether Dwayne, things outside of MMA, he's a great coach despite whatever did or didn't go right with him and Uriah, and that's something that we have to look at also, because there's a lot of guys on our team that aren't getting to that next level or getting to that that peak performance because we don't have somebody like that.
With that soccer, going to train with Wayne in Colorado?
That's definitely something that I've done in the past for a couple weeks at a time, and that's definitely something that I'm gonna take into consideration.
Last question for me: is it difficult when you are part of a team that you guys are so close that the relationships and yet what's good for you professionally start to maybe not vibe?
Well, you saw that with TJ and Uriah, and it's kind of one of those things where you have to do what's best for you. It's an individual sport. Even though my team has my back, they're not in the cage with me. I have to do what I feel is best for me. But there's no reason to jump to conclusions, because I feel that I won that fight, and there's always room for improvement either way. But you can't just you can't blame it on not having a coach. You can't blame it on anybody else. It's my fault that I lost that fight. I didn't get the finish, and whether the judging is bad or good, it's still, that's the way it is.